All right, guys. So my name is Andrea Rosser, and I am so excited to be sharing a little bit of training on EchoHub. So I want to kick this off by saying that each person that is seeing this training or that is on here with us tonight was handpicked and invited because we think that you all obviously have teams and influence, and we want you to help us in the beta testing of this app. So obviously we've been testing this, we've been working on it for actually quite a few months now, and we're one step closer to getting it out to the entire team, but we wanted to handpick some very specific people to lean in with us and help us with the testing. And so one of the first questions I'm getting is people are like, okay, well, can I go ahead and send this to everybody? And I'm like, no, 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 just give us just a minute. We're going to launch this to the entire organization on Wednesday. So we have just a few days left now of the testing, but our hope is that each of you will go and play and work in the app and be able to come back with us on Wednesday and say, okay, I used it for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and here are my results. So please go take a picture of your insights. Go take some screenshots inside of your Facebook so that you can see the difference between now and Wednesday, so that when we bring it to your team, you can actively look at them and say, okay, Kelly, I've been using it and you guys can use it too. It's done this for me, it can do this for you. And so that's why we kind of started with a small group, but we're going to launch it to the world in just a few days here. So with that, you're probably going to get some things that you don't like, that you're like, I tried this and the whole thing crashed. I don't know, because we're in beta testing. So at the end of this, you are going to get an email address that you can submit any issues that you're having, and they are getting them fixed every single day. I think everybody on here is on an iPhone. Is that true? Everybody that I can see, I think so. So I have not heard, knock on wood, of any issues with iPhones. I have seen a couple with Androids, so we're just having to get that fixed. It is what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to walk through. So obviously this is EchoHub, and this is designed for Facebook. So that's another one of the questions that I've gotten is, can I do this on X platform, Y platform? Everything here is designed for Facebook. The app is designed for Facebook. Now, does that mean you can't duplicate the same kind of content over into the other apps? No, go ahead, do it, rock it all day long. But this is specifically designed for Facebook. So that's where I would say focus in the beginning, and then you can spread it anywhere that you want. Our goal for tonight and our goal for really when we get started with this is kind of 4 parts. So first of all, we want to clarify your brand. And when I first heard that, I thought that my brand was Partner Co. I'm like, well, of course, that's the brand I work with. I didn't understand that Andrea has a brand. And so we're going to talk a little bit about how we clarify what your brand is. And then underneath that, identifying kind of the 4 pillars that hold up that brand, that align with that brand. And then we're going to interact. We're going to see how to interact with new people every single day, and then how we can share value in order to gain authority. And so that's kind of our goal with the app and what we're going to do here. So the first thing that I'm going to recommend is to watch the videos. And well, I didn't follow my own advice. Okay. So in my defense, we had it kind of laid out backwards. So we kind of didn't have the videos when we first started, and it was kind of upside down and backwards. And then I didn't go back and watch the videos. And I will say I did the daily actions and I've done them poorly. It still created results. But as I've watched the videos, I've gained so much more information. And so my content is improving and my results are improving. So you'll see videos in 2 different spots. One is going to be on every single daily flow item. There's these little short, like 20-second videos. Watch them. You can skip them. It's going to let you. I'm going to recommend that you don't. Like, watch them every day, because you'll hear something a little bit different. And when you can quote him, okay, then that's when you can stop watching them, right? Then inside the training tab, there's going to be a box that says creating content to build authority. that is where there's about, I think there's 5 videos. They're all short. Like the longest one I really think is 5 minutes. They're all very, very short. They recommend that we watch these weekly because we'll learn something new each time. But just at least that first time, watch them because it's going to make everything that we talk about here make a lot more sense. So I'm just going to give you kind of the bullet points, but it's going to give you the detail in there. And just to quote Coach, like we're going to slow down to speed up because it will accelerate our success if we go in and watch that. So what is your brand? Like, what does this mean? And this is our big idea. It's kind of who we are that people can connect with that, represents us. And so now I've got, some health folks on here, right? So Kelly, she might think that her brand is, you know, I don't know. I stepped off into it, but it could be nursing and health and nutrition. Like, I don't know, right? But sometimes we think that that has to be our brand because we're with a company that does health and wellness, but it might not be your brand, right? So I would say, think about kind of when people come to you for advice, what is it for? Like when I panic called Kelly, well, it was for a prescription, so it was for health, right? If somebody's going to panic call you or they're going to need help, what are those things that they're going to call you for? And then these are things that you are excited about. It's something that you have passion for, something that you really want to interact with, that you want to put content out about. It's kind of the things that kind of light us up on fire. And it's so much bigger than just PartnerCo. Like you might love Everglow. Well, if that's the case, then maybe your bigger idea is more on natural beauty or something like that, right? So that would be a small portion of it that we could talk about, but who you are is so much bigger. And we want to center our brand around this big kind of idea or a bigger idea so that when people think of you, they also think of this, right? So I'll give you guys a little bit of an example. So, and we're going to have these 4 pillars to kind of support us, but my slightly bigger idea, right? And I'll tell you, they kind of gave it to me because I really struggled with this. Watch the videos, it won't be as hard, but my slightly bigger idea is I'm a crunchy, she said the word granola, homeschooling mom. Okay, so not the most flattering description, but I think it's probably pretty accurate. And so with that, we want to come up with kind of some 4 pillars that support that. And these are the things that we're excited about, things we want to lean into, things that just that were fun, like it's fun for us to play in these spaces. So for me, like a natural non-toxic living, that's something that I've really focused on for a long time, like much longer than PartnerCo or even being in this industry. I love travel and I always want to be outside. Like you want me to be grumpy, throw me inside all day long and I am a grumpy little monkey. And I don't care how I'm outside. I want to be probably moving, but I want to be outdoors. I'm a mom and I homeschool. So that's a big part of what I'm doing every single day. And then I love books. So I always want to have books around me and I like to talk about books and I like to be around book nerds and all of that. Okay. So this is kind of my bigger idea. And then the pillars. Well, why does this matter? These are the groups we're going to join. This is where we're going to find our people, right? The people that when they see my dorky little comment that says, I have more books than friends, they say, oh, I have more books than friends too. I can relate to this person, right? Where when I talk about, the best homeschooling book that I read in the last 12 years, and I think every single homeschooling mom needs to read it, they're interested in that book and that topic. Okay. So, what are we going to do with this? Well, you're going to go join 20 to 40 groups truly from each of these pillars. And that might sound a little crazy. It doesn't take that long. All of this is going to be homework. Okay. I'm going to say that all of this is homework, but it doesn't take that long. And why do we want to be in those groups? Well, we're going to talk about this in a minute, but we're going to be sharing our content into these groups as really 2 of our action items in our daily flow. And that is where we're going to attract people that are following us. Because what do we hear with the drops? People sell them like gangbusters in the beginning, and then they move, and then it peters. And where does it peter? Well, that depends on the person and how big their network is and different things like that. But what this is doing is it's going to allow us to be creating new connections every single month, so new people are coming to us. And Christy, you're muted, so if you had a question, you can unmute and you can answer. Okay. So this is going to allow us to find new people that we can connect with. And we'll talk a little bit about those groups, I believe, in just a moment, if I get there. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do, okay, so we're figuring out our brand, we're joining those groups. Well, then we're going to interact with new people every single day. And how do we do that? So one thing that you guys may already know, I didn't know this, but the people that we scroll and see, so if I'm in Facebook and I'm scrolling, the people that I see are the people that are seeing me and no one else. So when you think about it, you ever think of it, I have not seen Mary Jo in forever on Facebook. And you go type in her name and now you'll see her and then she'll start coming up in your feed. Well, guess what? Now Mary Jo's seeing you. So what our goal is to really flip our algorithm every single day to get to new people. So how do we do that? Well, we can't scroll, because if we scroll, then it's just going, we're just going to continue to see those people. So we got to search. So how do we search for our friends, okay, that we're not normally seeing? So you can do this two ways. I personally, because I'm a little analytical, I downloaded my friends list and I ran it through Chat GPT, and I had it, make it so it looked nice and neat, because it comes out a little bit messy from Facebook. And I had it spit it out to me in an Excel file, and I highlight 40 people, I send myself a picture, and I do it on my phone every day. But there's a more simple way to do it. So you don't have to do it that way. I didn't know how to do it this way, so that's how I did it. I like it. It's working very well, but you can do it this way that's a little bit more at your fingertips. So you will go to your profile. In the upper left-hand corner, you're going to see three little lines. I actually have these out of order. So this is going to be your profile. You're going to click on these three little lines. You're going to get a menu that looks like this, and you will click on your friends. And then over here, you can sort. So you see how there's this little sort button? You can click on that and you can sort your friends, and you can do newest to oldest or oldest to newest. You decide, right, how you want to do it. I personally, when I went in here and did it this way, I did oldest to newest. I don't know if that's the right way, but you just pick a way and stick with it, because what you're going to do is every day you're going to pick 20 to 40 people. Okay. I set a timer on my phone. I give myself 15 minutes and I work through as many as I can. Okay. Now, in the beginning, I would get to like 7 people in those 15 minutes. Now I can work through all of them, because I don't know, I've gotten a little bit faster and I'm not as nosy, because in the beginning I'd go look at like 5 of their posts and I'd be like, oh my gosh, what are they been up to? Now I'm like, I don't have time for that nonsense. I'm going to look at your last post and I'm going to comment a genuine question. So let's say it's a picture of their cat and it was 4 weeks ago. I might say, oh my goodness, I don't know how I missed this. Little Fluffy has gotten so fat. What are you feeding him? Okay, so maybe I wouldn't say that, but you get the point. I'm going to comment. I might acknowledge if it was a little bit older, right? But I'm going to try to ask a genuine question. Now, maybe you won't be able to, because it'd be creepy if you asked the question, like it's just not an appropriate space. Well, then just comment. Now, let's say that you go to their page and they have nothing in the last 6 weeks. Maybe it's even longer. My suggestion is to unfriend them. And I know that sounds a little crazy. We get so caught up in, oh my gosh, I have 300 friends and now I only have 299 because I unfriended that one person. But what we don't realize is that only 1% of our contacts are seeing our content. And if one of those 1%ers is somebody that's not active on Facebook, they're never going to see our stuff. And we're wasting that space on Facebook on somebody that's not engaged. So it's better to have less friends and in order to have more engaged people that are connected to us. So did I keep my great aunt? Yes, she's never posted, but I'm not unfriending her. Did I keep like my childhood best friend because I want her, dang it, on Facebook? I don't care if she ever buys anything from me. Yes. But I'll tell you, have I unfriended like 8,000, it feels like, men every day? This is my favorite part. I am unfriending men like constantly because I'm like, I've never talked to you. You're never going to buy my drops and you don't have any content on your page. So perfect. I don't even see a wife in the picture. So you're worthless to me. So I am just unfriending like crazy. And I'll tell you, it's probably my favorite part of the whole thing. Now, say this is somebody that you, you'd like to work with, right? You want that connection with them. Then you could, and I've actually done some of these where I will just shoot them a little message on Messenger if I don't have their cell phone number. And I'll say, hey, I'm cleaning up my friends list. It looks like you're not active on Facebook anymore, but I want to stay connected with you. Where are you hanging out on social media? Or let's connect via text. Here's my cell phone number. And I've sent those to people that I want to keep, but like they have not been on Facebook since 21, and there's no point in me keeping that connection, right? So I have done that with a few people, but it is very empowering. You might enjoy it as much as I do. I don't know what that says about me, but that is one of my favorite parts, okay? Now, our goal every day is to share value in order to gain authority. And why is authority important? Well, it's going to attract the right people to us that are interested in what we have to offer. And it's going to be people that say, well, every time I go to Tony's page, I get some sort of value. So if she's sharing something, I know it's valuable, right? So sometimes you'll see like, I've done it. I've trained on it. Okay. So I'm not like, I've learned more, right? I'm not beating myself up too badly. But my favorite post used to be the thermostat post where I'd say, oh, getting cold again and we're fighting in the household. You tell me what temperature you keep your thermostat. And like you'll see 8 million people will put on there, I keep mine at 70, I keep mine at 72. My husband freezes me out of the house. Like, and there will be a lot of engagement on that post. And that's not necessarily bad, but I just look like a person that's wishy-washy and doesn't know how to set my own thermostat, right? But if I did something along the lines of X, Y, and Z study says that you'll sleep better if you keep your thermostat below 68 degrees, and I'm really battling the kids because I'm freezing them out of house and home, how do you solve the battle of the thermostat in your house, right? It's creating engagement, but from a position where I'm giving them a little bit of information and then I'm asking them for their opinion on it, right? So you kind of feel a little bit. Does that make sense? Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Next, this is going to increase engagement on our posts because people will see that we have value and we're bringing it to them. And then it creates an audience that, like I said about Tony, if every day I go there and she's bringing me value and she's a trusted source, when she throws out that post that is like, hey, I've only got 3 boxes left, who wants one? I might think, maybe I want one. I never knew I wanted one before, but I want all the other stuff she's talking about. So I'm going to reach out to her and ask a couple questions about what she has. And so we're going to focus our content around our bigger idea, right? We're going to use our groups and those content pillars, the mind map that you're going to create in that training in order to come up with engaging posts. And this makes our life so much more easy because I don't know about you, I can't think of all these posts every day if I just try to go come up with something. So by having kind of this framework around it, I can plan it out and grab different things out of the different pillars, and it makes my life a little bit easier. Okay. It does take time. We got to slow down to speed up. It does take a little bit of time, but you will appreciate it when you get the results. And then there are things that we can do to help ourselves. I'm going to say Chat GPT is one of my besties now, where you can train it. Like the more you use it, the more it's going to sound like you. So you can give it a voice and say, I want to be, friendly and humble and confident. and whatever, right? Like whatever you want it to be, and you can tell it to spit out your posts in that kind of tone. And then you just pick one of your pillars. So maybe one of your pillars is, I don't know, CEO mom. That's Haley's bigger idea. One of her pillars is faith. And so she can go and ask ChatGPT, what's the most widely shared Bible verse of 2025? And then she can go share that. She could go maybe say something about it. I don't know, but we can use these tools to go help us. So you can ask ChatGPT to create content around your pillars and then make your life a little bit more easy. And then lastly, we want to make sure that we're adding value. And the term that they used, and I might talk about this in a minute, but the term that they use is we want to be filling other people's emotional bank. So how do we do that? One, when we comment on those 20 to 40 people, we're giving them a little bit of love, right? Like, oh my gosh, your cat is adorable. That looks like a great breakfast. Oh, I want that recipe. Where did you guys go for date night? How did you two meet? Whatever it may be, we are actually filling that bank so that we have those residual coins in that person where they say, this person cares about me, they're reaching out to me. And so it feels more reciprocal instead of us just throwing stuff out in another space. And then when we bring value to our wall, well, then we're gaining value in that bank as well. So they say, well, I know I want to see Kelly's next post because every time I see one of her posts, it brings me value. So subconsciously, I'm looking for, right? I haven't seen Kelly post anything today. I might even go look for her wall because I know it's going to be something good that I want in my world. Okay. So we have daily workflow here, and I'm hungry. So we have a picture of brownies, but that was intentional because when we were trained on this, the example that we were given is that, let's say like me and you, Christy, are in a contest. We're in a baking contest, and I go to the store. Oh man, I'm so excited. And I buy the most beautiful ingredients. Everything's organic. It's wonderful. And I take all this time and I work and work and work and work, and I forget the sugar. Okay. So I make these gorgeous brownies, but there's no sugar. And then you're busy and you're smarter than me. So you grab a box and the 2 eggs that you need and maybe a cup of water, and you make your brownies. Well, guess whose brownies are better? Christie's, right? The box is going to be better because she had all of the ingredients that she needed. So same with this. We want to make sure that we are completing every single action that's asked of us. And again, in the beginning, this felt a little overwhelming. Took me about 45 minutes to work through every single step. I am faster now. So just know that it does improve, and you can schedule really everything. Except for sharing into groups, but you can schedule all your posts and all of that. And so you can just realize that you can work in those little pockets, school pickup line, different things like that. But it's super important that we do all of it. So the first thing is that call to action post. And just remember that we don't want to be the person selling all day long. So our call to action is only going to be business related or product related about 4 times a month. So, and Haley, I think you might have done it again. She's on the phone, but she did her little, who all here has seen Haley's post where she's doing this in the video? Anybody? Yeah, we've all seen it. I still have fingernails because of that post. I hate getting my nails done. Okay. I do not want manicures. I don't want to have to be stuck in a chair. She sold me on it. She's like, it only takes this long. They don't soak it off. They're so pretty. Well, now we have fingernails because of Haley. So good job. But she was like, why did I get so much engagement? That was crazy. She wasn't selling anything. She was just bringing value. That's all she did. That was even before this. But she's like, who wants to look so fantastic? Go, if you're smart, you'll go get builder gel. I'm murdering this, but go get builder gel or build up gel because it's faster, it looks great, and I never break a nail and it lasts like 3 weeks, something along those lines. Well, I ran out and did it, right? And so, but she wasn't selling anything. She got like 7,000 views or something crazy, maybe more now. And that is what we want to be doing on here. So our call to action is not always buy my drops, try my this, try my that. It could be that post about the thermostat where I ask them, I give a little bit of fact and then I ask them their opinion. Or let me know if you think this was the worst book of the year, the best book of the year. I'm looking for a movie that raises my energy and doesn't lower it. What do you think the best, uplifting movie might be? I don't know, but just something along those lines would be in a call to action when you're asking them to do something. Every day we want to be creating a reel, and this does not have to be anything crazy and complicated. So hopefully you all have Canva, Canva. I like it on a computer, but you can do it on a phone or an iPad. I'm just a little bit old school and a little bit blind, so I prefer it on a bigger screen. But you can literally go into Canva and you can type in reel and it will have all these templates for you, and you can throw a picture on it. You can go into ChatGPT and say, give me 10 reel ideas that are related to your big idea. So recipes that take, they're under $10 to feed your family this week. I don't know. But you can go ask it and then get all of the information from ChatGPT, throw it into Canva and go create these reels. It doesn't always have to be your face or, that kind of thing. An educate post is just find a way that you can teach somebody something. So, it might be, I was this year's old before I realized that. And it could be something really simple, right? Where you're like, how did I not know that you could, I can't even think of anything smart right now, but you know what I'm talking about. And again, you can Google that, you can go search, you can look at other people in your that, think align with your pillars, and go see what they're saying and what they're teaching on, and go grab it, do it. Engaging with your network, that is where we're filling that emotional bank, where we're loving on people, we're asking them questions, we're just kind of checking in on those people that have posted within the last 6 weeks. Entertain, I will say this is my biggest struggle. I think I'm funny, but I'm not funny on a screen, I guess. I don't know. So this is a struggle. So you can go find content that's funny, but what you want to make sure is that you're not sharing somebody else's content and you're going to steal it. Okay. I know it sounds horrible, but I want you to steal it, because if you go grab, what is it, Steve Harvey? Is that, and he makes a funny post, right? And you share it. Well, Facebook says that was a funny post, so we're going to take all the people and we're going to send them over to Steve Harvey, right? So you'll actually drop your engagement by sharing somebody else's. So there's an app, it's called Friendly, and you can download it on your phone. So you're scrolling and you see something that makes you cry, something that makes you laugh, something that makes you feel big feelings, go steal it in the Friendly app, download it, and then you reshare it yourself. If you are monetizing posts on Facebook, you will not get paid on it, because they'll say you took this from somebody else, but we don't care. We're not here to make money on Facebook. We're here to make money with PartnerCo. So that's not really a big deal. But that's the entertain post. Motivate posts can be anything that a quote that you like. Just make sure if you're using the color blocks, pick a color and stick with it. Right? Facebook will give you that little color when you type in a quote. Just pick one and stick with it. If you're creating in Canva, try to pick something that is recognizable as you, so that every time they see that, they think of you. Take one of these posts and share it in your story. It doesn't have to be a separate post. So you can just take your reel, share it in your story. Take your educate post, share it in your story, so that you're filling up your story with different things without having to create something new. You can add new stuff in there as well, but you don't necessarily have to. And then in terms of sharing your content into groups, you want to post it on your wall. So this could be something like, maybe Haley is in a, Brentwood or Nashville moms group. Well, she could go share her video and say, oh, mamas, I have the best nail salon near us. You got to go check out Mary at this salon. Well, guess what? That post already has social proof, and she's in a group of people that are in that area. There's a good chance a lot of people are going to go to that salon, and then they're going to go follow Haley for additional tips on what they can do in that area. right? So anything that you've posted in the past that had some decent engagement, grab it and go share it in an appropriate group. I have all these videos, whatever, of my dog. Well, I'm in all these golden doodle groups and I share her in those groups. It's not one of my pillars, but it's already content that I have and it draws people to me. So anything that you've already shared or that you've already posted, you can share. And then maybe you don't have content like that today. Well, as you create it, you want to be sharing it in at least 10 of those groups. And that's why we have to have so many, because some are going to block us and they're not going to let us share our own content in there. Some are, not going to approve it, like whatever is going to happen. So that's why we want to add so many groups, because then we're going to end up limiting it to the ones that we actually want to be a part of. And so you'll post it on your wall. Right below, there's going to be a share button, and then you will go share it in that group. And then our last action item, and this isn't going to change your algorithm, but I think it does change maybe the connections on your team. Pick somebody new every day to reach out to and love on. So it says just find somebody on the team. It's going to open up Messenger. I've done some in Messenger. If I don't have their phone number, a lot of these I just go ahead and do on my regular text message. But I'm picking somebody new every day that normally maybe I wouldn't get the chance to love on because they're not in the front of my mind, right? We all know the people real close to us, but this allows us to kind of dig deep and go love on somebody else. So you can do this in a variety of different ways. But I've just been kind of thinking, like, who is somebody different that I haven't talked to in a while that I can go love on today? And that just kind of, again, it fills that emotional bank, and then it creates a stronger connection in the team, which is always fantastic. So I think that was it. This is the email address that I wanted to make sure that everybody has, where you can email them any question that you have with the app. So maybe you're having an issue, a video is not playing, or whatever it may be, you can go ahead and email them there. But I'm going to go ahead and stop my share. And now we're going to open it up to any questions that you might have. Janelle, you love this so much you came back. So you just must miss me. You wanted to spend your Friday night with me. Love it, love it. But does anybody have any questions